And welcome inside Colonial Life Arena in Columbia, South Carolina. It's women's college basketball, and tonight, the #1 ranked South Carolina Gamecocks welcome one of the top mid-majors in the country, the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State. I'm Dave Weinstein alongside the former Gamecock Brett Ball. 3 straight wins to open the season, over 100 points scored in each, and South Carolina is right back to #1. South Dakota State, the #1 team in the mid-major poll. Brett, this could be an intriguing matchup.
Absolutely. Like you said, this is not the first time these teams have seen each other. South Dakota State is coming off the what I call the three-point press, 48% shooting from the three-point line. But South Carolina is coming into this matchup with 3 ranked opponents already on their resume. Both are looking to get a win and continue their winning streaks in this matchup.
And South Carolina leads the nation in assists thanks to the play of their point guard, Raven Johnson.
Absolutely. You cannot talk about USC's offensive productivity without talking about their assists, particularly from Raven Johnson, 5'9" sophomore guard, coming off a mind-blowing 17-assist game versus Clemson, the most by any SEC player since 2005. She's truly an unselfish player, true floor general who can see the ball and not only see the open man, but get them the ball at the right time.
Brooklyn Meyer has been a star through 3 games for South Dakota State. She's averaging a double-double.
Brooklyn Meyer, 6-foot sophomore forward, starting her sophomore career season on a good note. New career high, 19 points versus Wisconsin. Then another productive performance, 10 rebounds and 4 blocks against UT Martin. She leads the country in blocks per game. So I am looking forward to see this matchup between her and South Carolina post players and this block party that's going on in the paint.
Meyer and Ashlyn Watkins are tied for first in the country in block shots at 4.3 per game, as you mentioned. Her play inside, of course, will be important tonight against the size of South Carolina. Our officials are Angelica Suffren, Paulani Spurlock Welsh, and Cameron Inouye. It'll be Brooklyn Meyer and Kamilla Cardoso on the tip here inside CLA. We're underway as the Gamecocks win the tip. Raven Johnson running the show for South Carolina. Gets it inside to Cardoso. Those two have been a lethal combination already. Johnson for 3. Offensive board for Cardoso and the putback.
Great finish. Again, we just talked about Raven and Cardoso, a relationship, and they're playing. They play so well together. And those type of things happen. In and out, look for her on the inside. If not, put it back for a second chance point.
Cardoso averaging 11.7 rebounds per game. She's averaging a double-double for the first 3 games as well. Johnson, Hall, Kitts, Fulwiley getting her first start. Cardoso is starting 5 as well. An easy bucket inside for Byam.
I think it's most people would be fair to say that Fulwiley has definitely earned her way into the starting lineup with productivity in the last couple games.
Kitts in the post, she kicks it back out. That's Hall in the corner. Too strong. Another offensive board for South Carolina. Raven Johnson, her shot is short. Colbeck on the board for the Jackrabbits. Colbeck, sophomore guard from Fergus Falls, Minnesota. This is Brooklyn Meyer.
See her trying to alter her shot a little bit around Cardoso.
Cardoso, another offensive rebound. This will stay with the Gamecocks. Three rebounds already for Kamilla Cardoso, the 6'7" center from Brazil. 15 rebounds against Notre Dame in the season opener. Hall in traffic, too strong. And a rebound to Brooklyn Meyer.
Both teams looking to score. Look like they've had a little struggle to score around the basket early off in this game.
Meyer against Cardoso, looking for space. She finishes off the glass.
Great athletic move, again, altering her shot, but still staying fundamentally sound, keeping her foot on the ground and finishing it for the Jackrabbits.
Cardoso scores for the Gamecocks. We're tied at 4. Defense there against Nelson. By him for 3. That's good.
Great shot. She was actually calling for the ball, ready in the ready stance to be able to score.
Fulwiley can't answer. It's a South Dakota State team that averages 58 points per game, but they can shoot it. Actually have a better percentage from outside the arc than they do from inside. It's the Gamecocks the other way. Fulwiley.
Finally, great finish. Great athletic finish by Fulwiley. She had a couple misses earlier, but again, that's why you have to stay persistent and finish and have confidence, even after those missed shots, but to finish at the basket.
Fulwiley averaging 15.7 per game, has the most points through the first 3 games in South Carolina history. How about Brooklyn Meyer?
Nice little finish touch there. Again, around 6'7", Kamilla Cardoso.
Meyer has 4. Kitts turns, fires, shot no good. Rebound tracked down by Tori Nelson. Meyer gets it inside to Mathewitz. She's harassed by Fulwiley, still able to finish.
Wow, nice persistent play there. She realized where she was in relationship to the basket, and she was able to step through the power move. But good defense by Malaysia.
Only 5-point lead for the Jackrabbits. Get it to Cardoso. Hall pulls up. Doesn't get the bounce. It'll be South Dakota State basketball. Couple substitutions. Jenna Hopp checks in for South Dakota State. Madison Veloston as well. Hopp, freshman guard from Glenwood, Iowa. Just 9 healthy bodies for South Dakota State. And you see 9 tonight for the Gamecocks as well. Don't expect to see Pow Pow or Tessa Johnson. There's Raven Johnson on the board, and she'll look to push. Up ahead, it's Hall. The follow-up.
Great persistent finish. Again, Raven Johnson does Raven Johnson things. Like we talked about earlier, that's so Raven. Again, looking to get the ball out in transition. Again, just a little miss by Bree Hall, but again, consistent follow-up for her to finish her shot.
Mathewitz, she's checked by Fulwiley. Under 10. Kitts with the rebound for South Carolina, and Raven Johnson will look to run. Johnson, tough shot. And one for Cardoso.
Again, when you talk about Raven, Cardoso is going to be somewhere in the topic, somewhere in the conversation very soon afterwards. A great follow-up by Cardoso.
And we're going to take a break with 4:44 left to go in the first. South Dakota State leads South Carolina 11-10. And welcome back inside Colonial Life Arena. South Dakota State with an early lead on South Carolina, 11-10. Back and forth so far. Fulwiley getting her first start for the Gamecocks. Finishes on the break. And it's been a lot of scoring in the paint so far, Brett. And this is Mathewitz converting for the Jackrabbits.
Yeah, as you said, a lot of scoring in paints, a lot of missed shots, but also a lot of follow-up shots where, players are getting the rebounds and able to finish really on both ends of the floor. But like you said, it's great to see Fulwiley get into the starting lineup. As I said before, most people that has seen her play so far this season can definitely say that she's earned that spot. Again, just an athletic player that pushes the ball up the floor. But again, great to see the Jackrabbits also get on the scoring board as well.
And you talk about that inside scoring, 10 to 8 points in the paint in favor of South Carolina. The only basket outside the paint is that 3-point shot that was made by Mesa Byam. Fulwiley will get a rest. Had quite a debut against Notre Dame, 17 points, 6 assists, 6 steals, added 12 points against Maryland, then 18 points and 9 rebounds against Clemson. She's been an absolute pleasure to watch so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the coach said before, and I know we'll hear it even more, is just a true generational talent that can do multiple things on the floor. I think people sometimes hold their breath when she gets a breakaway because you never know what type of move she's going to make.
Cardoso going to finish a 3-point play. She does just that. 7 points, 3 boards already for Kamilla Cardoso. We're tied at 11 here inside CLA. Trying to get it inside, but it's a steal for Ashlyn Watkins. Cardoso in the post, feeds Watkins, lowers her shoulder. And it's an offensive foul on the sophomore forward from Columbia, Watkins.
Good defensive play by South Dakota State, again, to get in the position. It's a great move, though, by Ashlyn Watkins to move towards the ball. Cardoso was able to see her by moving towards the ball, but again, just good defensive stop by South Dakota State.
Yeah, great defensive team. There you see 8 blocks per game, tied for 3rd in Division I. We'll go the other way. South Dakota State holding opponents to 48.7 points per game. Jackrabbits opponents only shooting 29% from the field so far this season, only 28% from 3. Watkins, she squares off the mark. Almost another turnover. One problem for Coach Johnston this season has been turnovers. Jackrabbits' turnover margin is -5. You're looking at the dean of the Summit League women's basketball head coaches. What a program he's built. Took over in 2000, won a D2 national title in 2003, transitioned them to D1 in 2004. And they've been a mid-major power ever since. Great move from Meyer.
Great move from Meyer. Again, you can tell that she's done her scout and prepared for this game. You can tell how looks like she's adjusting her footwork and her game to be able to score around 6'7", Kamilla Cardoso.
And Watkins with the follow-up for South Carolina.
Again, great follow-up. You can't really even tell the little missed buckets around the basket so far in this game because of the follow-up and the continuation of plays.
Nelson misses with the left hand. Tied at 13. Johnson takes it herself.
Nice touch. Again, Raven does everything. She's able to get the ball to the right person, but she's also able to score herself.
First bucket of the game for Raven Johnson. 2-point lead for the Gamecocks. Nelson, the senior forward, finds Hop. Brooklyn Meyer inside against Watkins. Can't get the roll. Watkins to the floor. We're going to have a foul called on Jenna Hop. She picks up her first. 5 players have scored for Coach Staley's team. Dawn Staley in her 16th season as the head coach. 12 straight 20-win seasons. In the Final Four, 5 of the last 8 years. Over 400 wins at South Carolina. A couple of national championships. 2 outstanding coaches matching up. And Coach Staley and Coach Johnston.
Nice defensive deflection by Ashlyn Watkins.
Sanaya Fagan checks in for the Gamecocks, junior forward from Ellenwood, Georgia. Cardoso will take a seat. Watkins off the mark, hits, fighting for the rebound. Here's Fagan. Putting some pressure on is Watkins, and she's going to pick up a foul. That's going to be the second on Ashlyn Watkins. You might see Watkins take a seat. Well, Ja checks in. Sanaya Ja, freshman forward from Alexandria, Virginia. Played 14 minutes last game against Clemson. 8 points, 4 rebounds.
Yeah, she was very productive in that game, and it's good to see her as a freshman getting out and getting some minutes, and also, again, being productive. That's a confidence booster to know that you can contribute to your team offensively as well as defensively as a freshman.
Byam crashed the boards for the Jackrabbits, but it's Gamecocks basketball. 2-point lead, minute and a half remaining in the first. South Carolina just shooting 30% so far, 7 for 23. Fulwiley, she's blocked by Nelson. Johnson in the corner. She'll fire, off the mark.
Looks like they had a little trouble getting the offense going there.
And a steal for Ja. Feeds Johnson.
Great play. Great defensive pressure by Ja. Again, to convert that over to 2 points. Just a phenomenal guard play, playing smart with her hands and not fouling. Great job by the freshman.
It's a 4-point lead for South Carolina. Nelson passed on the 3. Hop as well. Looks like she collided with Fulwiley. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Hop runs out of time. Outstanding defense from South Carolina.
Great defensive pressure. Great defensive possession there. Again, great pressure by freshman Ja, and then knowing how to get it to Raven, giving the ball, pushing the ball up ahead, so Raven Johnson has a better chance to making a shot or finishing the layup, we say.
South Carolina can hold for the final shot of the quarter. Currently on a 6-0 run.
Looks like she's giving Malaysia some free range.
Fulwiley launches from deep. Fagan before the buzzer. That shot's no good, but South Carolina ends the quarter on a 6-0 run. And we're going to take a break from Colonial Life Arena. The Gamecocks lead the Jackrabbits 17-13. Welcome back. Getting ready for the start of the second quarter here in Columbia. South Carolina leads South Dakota State 17-13. Good battle between the bigs. Start with Brooklyn Meyer for South Dakota State. Brett, 6 points, 2 boards in the first quarter.
Again, I just think she's done her homework prior to this game. She's adjusted her shot slightly and just being able to read the defense and work around Kamilla Cardoso, who's 6'7". I think she's, again, just done a great job for her team early on, get into the basket and just doing fundamental things to score.
Cardoso was doing her thing inside as well. 7 points and 3 boards, one-upping Brooklyn Meyer in both categories.
Again, it's no surprise that Kamilla leads the team in points per game. Again, she's just so efficient around the basket. And, I mean, obviously it helps when you're 6'7", but she's fundamentally sound. And she's, again, able to connect. Even when their teammates miss those shots, she's there to clean it up and to finish it.
It's been a great battle between those two. Neither in foul trouble. 1 foul for Cardoso. No fouls for Brooklyn Meyer. That's really important for Coach Johnston. Gamecocks played great defense in the first quarter. The last 6 minutes of the quarter, South Dakota State was just 1 for 6 with 5 turnovers. That shot in and out. Meyer with another board.
There she is. She's just absolutely relentless. And when you're relentless, you get rewarded on the back end for helping your team score.
8 points for Brooklyn Meyer. Started the season with a bang, 15 points, 14 boards, and 4 blocks in the opener against Arkansas State. 19, 11, and 5 blocks at Wisconsin. Fulwiley on the drive. Hall, the offensive rebound in the paint. She'll draw the foul.
Good decision by Bree Hall. I like to see her in the starting lineup. She's just such a solid player. She has the ability to knock down a three-pointer. She also has the ability to take it to the basket. But again, just a key leader on the court. You can constantly hear and see her talking. Again, I think she just enjoyed seeing her evolution as a basketball player on this team.
Can be counted on for more scoring this season, averaging 9 per game so far. Had 12 points against Maryland, 8 points and 5 rebounds in her last game against Clemson.
All right. I think she's definitely relished the additional playing time and turned that into some productive offensive benefits for the team.
Primarily a bench player first couple of seasons here in Columbia, starting 2-guard. Ten seconds for Mathewitz. Over Cardoso, tough shot, can't hit, and so here's Hall the other way. Fulwiley feeds Cardoso, and one.
Great finish by Cardoso. And not only that, great pass by Fulwiley. Again, as we talked about before, the assist game is a consistent narrative for South Carolina being able to get the ball to the right person at the right time. Again, knowing where to get the ball to Cardoso.
Cardoso, a 58% free throw shooter coming into tonight. Finishes the three-point play. And you see the numbers up for Cardoso, 9 and 8 last season. So 15.7 and 11.7 so far. And she's going to be the focal point inside with Leah Boston no longer in Columbia.
Absolutely, and I think she's definitely stepped up for the team. I can't necessarily say no players be replaced, but she's doing what she needs to do for this team. She's done it well so far.
Already has 10 points, double digits in all 4 games. Tough shot from Meyer. That was Cardoso on the defensive end. And here's Fulwiley. You almost anticipate something special every time she
gets the ball.
brings the ball up the floor. Three-pointer is short for Ja. Colbeck with the rebound for South Dakota State. Hop shows off the moves, but loses the handle. And it'll be a turnover for the Jackrabbits. That's their 7th.
Yeah, they're having a little tough time getting their offense going. You can see that they're setting a lot of high ball screens to try to get some action off of that. It hasn't necessarily been helpful in the last couple possessions.
Fulwiley from the wing, a deep 3, off the mark. Meyer, another rebound for South Dakota State. Meyer drains the bucket.
Nice shot again. She's definitely the player to watch that we talked about before earlier in this game, just being just super productive around the paint, whether it's on the block or the top of the key. That's a great shot for her.
And you talked about her scouting with South Carolina. I think you did a nice job scouting Meyer as your player to watch. She already has 10 points and 5 rebounds. 10 seconds for Ja. Fagan from the elbow. Mathewitz aboard for the Jackrabbits. South Dakota State within 4. Meyer inside, finds Mathewitz, draws contact.
Yeah.
And she'll head to the line.
That was a great defensive move again. Being able to read the defense, go behind her, and now drive foul.
Fulwiley picks up her first as Madison Mathewitz will head to the free throw line. The sophomore guard from Sleepy Eye, Minnesota. Great town name. Mathewitz came off the bench in the opener, but has now started the last 3. It's the contact from Fulwiley.
Again, good job staying patient and drawing the foul.
It's the second. She's coming off a career-high 13 points at Wisconsin. Then just had 3 on Saturday at UT Martin. She did play 35 minutes. These Jackrabbits are going to play high minute totals this season. It's a depleted roster. Kits for 3. Shot was off. It's out of bounds. It'll go to South Dakota State. South Carolina now 0 for 8 from behind the arc. This is a team that comes in shooting 41% from three, Brett.
Yeah, not a good three-point shooting night. I think Chloe Kitts, patted her chest to her teammates. She was like, "Hey guys, that's on me." But again, we talked about Chloe earlier in with shoot around. I just like to see her in the starting lineup again, coming off just a great coming in early, really for last year, and just working hard to work her way into the starting lineup. She just seems to be a hard working, and it's paying off for her.
That shot is blocked by Ja. It'll be South Carolina basketball. And they played a close one last season. If you think back to that matchup in South Dakota, it was 29-20 at the half. Jackrabbits really hung in there with the Gamecocks, held South Carolina to 34% shooting, 13% from three. Gamecocks were just 2 for 15 from behind the arc. In last year's matchup, Kitts from the free throw line, that's good.
Great shot. Great shot for her. I'm glad she was able to, again, shoot again. Sometimes when you miss, it messes up your confidence a little bit, but again, great players know how to come back and still be able to deliver.
First bucket for Kitts. Looks like we're gonna have an offensive foul here on Velostin. She picks up her second. Going back to that matchup, Brett, if you look at South Carolina's regular season schedule last year, Stanford, UCLA, UConn were the only closer non-conference games for the Gamecocks outside of South Dakota State. In fact, South Dakota State played a tighter game than many of Carolina's SEC opponents did.
Yeah, and we talked about that earlier, about how this is not their first time seeing each other, and even Coach talked about how important these type of games are for the program to be able to see this type of competition. And you could tell that, South Dakota State was ready. They did their homework.
They get it to Cardoso inside. She's double teamed, so instead it's Kitts. Cardoso goes down, no call. 2 seconds. Hall from the wing, in and out. Cardoso gets the putback.
Good follow-up by Cardoso again. You can tell that they have just packed it in on her on the inside, and she's still able to deliver. She's still able to score. Good call by Bree Hall, who's recognizing the top shot clock. And again, good follow-up by Kamilla Cardoso with the finish.
12 points and 4 boards for Cardoso, all 4 on the offensive glass. Hall will lead the rush for the Gamecocks. We'll have 12 second chance points already. Kitts in the post. She'll kick it. Hall on the drive. Splits the defense.
Great read. And we talked about Bree Hall and her versatility earlier. She can knock down a three. She also can pump fake and drive it to the basket. But I think that was a great athletic move. Great way to lead the defense by Bree Hall.
Largest lead for the Gamecocks. We're on a 6-0 run. Nelson is denied, but the follow-up is good again for Natalie Nielsen.
Absolutely. Again, that relentless play by South Dakota State. Again, that follow-up for the missed shot. That's what they know that's necessary to win this game.
Nielsen against Cardoso. Kitts draws contact, and she'll head to the line. Chloe Kitts, who played in 18 games last year after joining the team on December 13th. 10.7 boards in her debut against CSU. She's been a starter this season. And we're going to take a break from inside Colonial Life Arena. 3:28 left to go in the second. South Carolina leads South Dakota State 27-20. South Carolina leads South Dakota State 27-20 in the second quarter. Turnovers, Brett, have been the difference. South Dakota State has 8 of them. South Carolina just 1, and it was a charging foul. They haven't turned it over yet in the half court.
Again, yeah, it's tough to win, to get your offense going and to win games when you have turnovers. But again, that speaks to South Carolina's just defensive pressure. I mean, you've seen that from all players, even Ja earlier getting some time on the floor, having some defensive pressure, getting the steal and converting that into points. But yeah, they definitely have to take a better care of the ball to get their offense going again.
South Carolina's had a diverse offense this season. Threes, an inside game, transition, the half court. score in the paint. They really do it all. The one thing Coach Staley, she talked to us earlier today, said she wants a little bit better. The free throw percentage coming in just 62% so far tonight. They are 3 for 4. Chloe Kitts get the line for the Gamecocks in just a moment.
Yeah, you're right. She talked about her the free throws, but then she also said they're going to do what they do best, and that's points in the paint. They have 22 points in the paint already, but again, that's definitely contribute to Kamilla Cardoso doing what she does best and just playing her game.
Coach Johnston has had to deal with numerous injuries this season. Paige Meyer, their point guard, out for this game. Foot injury, we won't see her. Those star players are out for the year as well. Kitts, 67% free throw shooter so far this season. That number's going to go up as she makes the first. Can't hit the second. So it's an 8-point lead for the Gamecocks. Tori Nelson's yet to get on the scoreboard. Meyer inside, had good position, unable to convert. And now she's going to pick up a foul against Cardoso, and that's something that Coach Johnson does not want to see. It's only her first.
Yeah, definitely cannot have her in foul trouble, but again, that was just you saw her, she was working, before continuing, and she's been doing that all night, trying to get in position to adjust her shots and again to be able to put herself in a scoring position against Kamilla Cardoso.
Cardoso now 3 for 3 from the free throw line so far tonight. Four for 4. She has 14 points and 5 boards already.
Again, it just speaks to her productivity, and she's doing what she does best in the paint. That's part of her, I guess, playing DNA. And that's what's expected of her every night, and she's just delivering it again.
Meyer, her shot is short. Gamecocks looking to build on a 10-point lead, their largest lead of the night. Meyer did a nice job defensively that time. And it's going to be Jackrabbit basketball.
I don't think the fans agree with the call either.
Fans at CLA unhappy with that call. Let's take another look. Meyer. It's off the hands of Cardoso. Good call. Steal for Raven Johnson. Finishes off the glass.
Raven Johnson again. She's everywhere. That's what we talked about, the defensive pressure earlier and causing turnovers, but also converting those into points.
Johnson averages 2.3 steals per game. Colbeck pulls up. Meyer, an offensive rebound. Unable to finish from in close, but Nelson is able to score for South Dakota State. First basket for Tori Nelson.
Great cleanup basket by Tori Nelson. Way to be there at the right place at the right time.
And swing it to Fulwiley. Passed on the open look. Kitts from the elbow. Too strong. Fulwiley sneaks in with a rebound. Spin move. Trying to go to Cardoso. Fulwiley. Scoop shot. Can't hit. And this will stay with South Carolina.
Wow, what a possession. Again, is relentless of not giving up by South Carolina offense.
And certainly getting their chances, shooting 31% from the floor so far tonight. Now rebounding South Dakota State 27-20. Johnson sets up the offense. Cardoso. She's had the hot hand.
That's a great shot for Cardoso. She don't take many shots from that area, but that's a great shot for her.
16 points for Cardoso, already over her season average of 15.7 per game. Nelson. She'll drive. Kicks it to Mathewetz. And the steal for Raven Johnson. Johnson pulls up and hits.
Nice finish. Again, Raven Johnson, again, continues to be active on defense. She's shooting the gap. Was rewarded again with the steal and a nice soft touch finish.
8 points for Raven Johnson, a 14-point lead for the Gamecocks. That's a nice feed to Meyer. Defense even better from South Carolina. "15 fast break points tonight for the Gamecocks, none for the Jackrabbits." Gamecocks slow it down here. Cardoso. Shot no good, and Colbeck tracks it down. And now South Dakota State can hold for the final shot of the quarter. Ten seconds for Tori Nelson. Feeds Meyer. Shot no good. The rebound for Cardoso. A heave from Fulwiley.
Oh,
It's good if it went. South Carolina outscores South Dakota State 19-9 in the second. And it's halftime here from Colonial Life Arena. Raven Johnson with the steal, and she's going to pick up 2 of her 8 points in the half. And South Carolina will go to halftime with a 14-point lead. They lead South Dakota State 36-22. Here at halftime inside Colonial Life Arena, South Carolina leads South Dakota State 36-22. We're going to take a moment to talk about her turn. Tori Nelson, pictured there, number 20 in blue, and former Jackrabbit Maya Sellen are the co-founders of a nonprofit called Her Turn, which is designed to create more equitable sporting opportunities for girls and young women in the Brookings community who may not otherwise have the chance due to financial need. Recipients of a Her Turn scholarship can attend a South Dakota State University athletic camp of their choice at no cost to their family. And it's a great cause. There you see on your screen where donations can be made. Tori Nelson and Maya Sellen actually traveled to Los Angeles this summer to accept the Gatorade Community Impact Award, which awarded a $25,000 grant to Her Turn. They also got to attend the ESPYs as part of the trip. It all started after the summer when NIL legislation passed, and Nelson and Sellen reached out to a few of their professors to talk about how they can use, their reach and influence to help more girls get into sports. And Jackrabbit alum Maya Sellen and then Gamecock alum Aaliyah Boston are actually both top 30 honorees for NCAA Women of the Year. Part of this cause, they're actually the only D1 women's basketball representatives on this year's list, but you see their picture there at the ESPYs. Brett, I know it's a cause that resonates with much of your research when you were a grad student here at South Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it before. I absolutely love to see organizations like this that champion girls in sports. And it's so critical because of the barriers that prevents girls' participation, such as the financial, as you talked about, Dave, the body image, lack of access, self-esteem, and social stigma. So I like to see organizations such as Her Turn be able to bring light to these issues, and not only bring light to them, but also provide resources to contribute to encourage young girls to participate in sports.
Yeah, tremendous cause. Take a quick break so we can get a message from Cocky. Definitely a happy Thanksgiving to you, Brett, to everyone watching at home.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Dave.
Hope you'll have a wonderful holiday. Cardoso picks up an early bucket here in the third. 16-point lead for the Gamecocks. 18 points for Kamilla Cardoso. Meyer backing down Kitts. Can't get the roll, and it's a rebound for Chloe Kitts. Kitts passes on the open shot. South Carolina 0 for 9 from behind the arc in the first half. South Dakota State was just 1 for 3. 3 seconds on the shot clock. This is Hall. And a rebound for Colbeck. And these are two teams, Brett, that come into this one shooting over 40% from behind the arc. There's a 3-point shot that misses from Colbeck. And Hall will look to push over Colbeck. Too strong, but a whistle. And a foul that's going to go against Chloe Kitts. She picks up her first.
You're right, Dave. You know, we talked about this. Would this be a three-point shootout given the success of the great shooting, three-point shooting in the games prior? But, you know, this is not the narrative of this game. Both teams have not been shooting incredibly well. But it's been a story of points in the paint for both teams.
And the defense has been pretty good for both sides. Both teams only hit at a 33% clip in the first half. Nice move from Brooklyn Meyer. Again,
nice move. We talked about her earlier. Again, just getting a feel of Cardoso, figuring out where she is, again, and making an athletic play based off reading the defense.
Cardoso is double teamed and fouled. And the foul's going to go against Meyer. She picks up her second. Meyer did have 10 points and 4 boards against South Carolina last season. And she was just a freshman in that matchup. And she's going to pick up another foul here, and that's bad news for South Dakota State as Brooklyn Meyer will have to exit. She's going to be replaced by Natalie Nielsen. So Meyer and her 12 points and 6 rebounds is now on the bench.
Like you said, Dave, she's been one of the most productive players for South Dakota on the floor. It's not good that she's going to be on the bench, but she was very productive in her time on the floor.
Cardoso has been perfect from the line tonight, and she's got 20. Fifth 20-point game of her career. Fulwiley knocked it away for a moment, and here's Byam. Now it's Johnson with the steal. Raven Johnson. Defense to offense.
Great, just relentless play. That is what has caused the turnovers for South Dakota. That defensive, aggressive pressure in your face. Again, and not only that, convert it to 2 points.
Nelson can't hit. More fast break points for the Gamecocks in this one. They're dominated in that category. Fulwiley.
What a play. What a play. Again, great athletic moves, just tucking the ball in and being able to finish at the basket.
Foul will be called on Mathewitz, her first. So we take another look. Difficult scoop shot. And she finishes the three-point play. Five points for Fulwiley, and a 21-point lead for South Carolina, their largest of the night, and South Dakota State will call timeout. With 7:25 left to go in the third quarter, a 7-0 run for the Gamecocks. They lead the Jackrabbits 45-24. And welcome back. South Carolina leads 45-24. Kamilla Cardoso was the SEC 6th Woman of the Year last season. She's not going to be up for that award this season because, Brett, she's the starting centerpiece. And what a performance so far tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, 20 points, 7 to 10 field goal. Again, she's again a great contributor. And one of those practical ways she's done that is she's kept the ball up high. She doesn't bring the ball down. She's always in good position. She communicates with her teammate, and she also meets the ball as well. That's what Raven Johnson talked about. We talked about their relationship and their playing. The Raven Johnson knows where to get the ball to her, but Kamilla also gives her the target of where to put it. So again, I think it's just having great players around her, knowing how to play with her and with her dominance. But again, this is just a dominance performance, what we've expected out of her this season.
And she and Raven played AAU together, so they have a chemistry and a connection that's evident every time they're on the court together.
Definitely evident.
Nelson, great finish.
Yeah, great athletic move there by Nelson.
4 points for Tori Nelson. A forward, but leads the team in assists this season, does Nelson. She'll play the point sometimes. 45-26 lead for the Gamecocks. Kitts an open look, drains it.
Nice shot.
5 points for Chloe Kitts. Coach Staley says is steadily getting good at everything she does. It's a tough shot. Johnson feeds Fulwiley. Too strong. Wiley putting some pressure on Colbeck. This is Byam. Now Colbeck. 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Jackrabbits. Mathewitz trying to make her move. The follow away, in and out. Chloe Kitts picks up the rebound for South Carolina. Hall thought about it instead, gets it to Cardoso. She feeds Kitts. Chloe Kitts will draw the whistle on a foul. I believe it's going to be on Byam. It is, it's her third.
It's a good athletic move by Chloe Kitts, again, moving without the basketball. And Camilla Cardoso was able to meet her with the pass. Wasn't able to finish at the basket, but again, a good job, her moving without the basketball and putting herself in a position to score.
Now you have to keep track of the foul trouble for South Dakota State, as their two starting bigs, Brooklyn Meyer and Mesa Byam, both have 3 fouls. Meyer is now back on the floor. This is the foul on Byam.
Yeah, I got somebody arm contact.
Kitts gets the rebound. And this whistle will go against South Carolina. This is a Jackrabbit. That's Nelson who hit the deck. Hopefully she's all right. Foul's going to be called on Kitts. She picks up her second. Let's take another look at what happened to Nelson.
What are you looking at?
So we might have a review here. So we're going to take a break while our officials review the last play. 5:48 left to go in the third. South Carolina leads South Dakota State 47-26.
Okay.
Still waiting for word from our officials here. Tori Nelson looks to be okay for South Dakota State. And just got word, Brett, that's going to be a common foul on Chloe Kitts.
Yeah, again, just aggressiveness of Chloe Kitts. Just trying to follow up with her shot. And, you know, it's basketball, so sometimes, you know, you may get too little aggressive, but again, that's the call, and I'm sure South Carolina is going to continue to keep their pressure.
South Dakota State, remember, they had an early 11-6 lead, scored 11 points in the first 4 minutes of the game, but they have 15 points total in their last 20 minutes. They'll try to get it going offensively here midway through the third quarter. Trailing by 21. They get it inside to Meyer. She's checked by Watkins. Meyer loses possession. It'll be another turnover for South Dakota State. That's their 12th. That's been a big difference in this one, Brett. South Carolina only has 3 turnovers, and they've really taken advantage, the Gamecocks have, of South Dakota State's turnovers. They have 20 fast break points. South Dakota State has none.
Yeah, absolutely. They've really relished on that turnover to point conversion there tonight.
Watkins converts from close.
It's good to see Watkins back on the floor. I know she was out earlier with some foul trouble again. It's good to see her back on the floor tonight for the Gamecocks.
Meyer, Watkins with the steal, up ahead. This is Johnson, gathers it and finishes off the glass.
We were just talking about the pressure from the steals or turnovers for South Dakota State. Again, that's Ashlyn Watkins with the in-their-face defense. Was able to disrupt their defense to convert to offense for the Gamecocks.
Well, it's a 25-point lead, almost another turnover, and there it is a turnover. Raven Johnson. And one. Foul's going to be called on Ellie Colbeck. She picks up her first. 14 points now for Raven Johnson. She'll head to the line to add to that total. Let's take another look at the turnover.
Again,
and the finish.
That pressure really started from Malaysia early on and to disrupt the defense, and Raven Johnson caught wind of it and took it to the other end.
More fast break points for South Carolina, now leading 22-0 in that category. Meyer on the bench getting a rest for the Jackrabbits. Fulwiley stole another one. By him for 3. Cardoso, I believe, got a piece of that. Ja was calling for it. Instead, it's Cardoso. Another opportunity.
Again, Kamilla Cardoso just doing what she does best. As we mentioned before, she has this incredible ability. Obviously, she's 6'7", too, just to keep it high. She has 3 defenders on her, but again, just able to finish it. It just speaks to her athleticism.
22 points and 7 rebounds for Cardoso. Hop in some trouble. 5 seconds for Nelson. She pulls up and gets the roll.
Nice shot from Nelson.
6 points for Tori Nelson, the senior from Mendota Heights, Minnesota. Preseason second team All-Summit selection. Started every game the last 2 years for the Jackrabbits. She's matched up now against Raven Johnson. Johnson directing traffic. 10 seconds for Raven. Fulwiley steps back and hits.
What a nice shot. Again, she just has a savvy style of playing that people love to watch, and she also finishes, and it was a great shot for her.
Such an exciting player, no doubt. It's going to be a fan favorite for years here inside Colonial Life Arena.
For sure, I agree with that.
10 seconds for Nelson. She'll drive. Unable to finish. Fight for the rebound. It's won by Cardoso. Raven Johnson feeds Fulwiley. And she's going to be called for the travel. 4th turnover for the Gamecocks. I'm talking about Malaysia Fulwiley in a press conference. Coach Staley said, you know, some of those highlights, they're scary sometimes because it doesn't always end with someone catching her passes, but we're not going to slow her down, just teach her time and place. Talking about some of those highlight reel plays she's made so far this season. Kima Walker's on the floor for the Gamecocks, the senior center from Columbus, Ohio. JUCO transfer, coming over from Northwest Florida, started her career at Rutgers. More pressure from Raven Johnson. She's been great defensively. 10 seconds for the Jackrabbits. This is Brooklyn Meyer.
Great drive and great job reading the defense by Myers. Again, she's just been doing that all night long, being able to read the defense and make a good play to score.
Playing with 3 fouls, she has 14 points. Watkins doesn't get the spin, another opportunity, and a whistle that's going to go against the Jackrabbits.
Again, second chance points, second chance opportunities has been the narrative for South Carolina tonight. Crashing the boards, being able to follow up and either get into the basket or get into the free throw line.
Byam's going to pick up her 4th foul, so she'll exit. Coach Johnson, when we asked him about Byam in our call last night, said, you know, she's played really well the last 2 games. Play inside, also pass it. Has to play well tonight, has to stay out of foul trouble. She's got 4.
Just 4, yep. That's again, this is, like you said, critical to their player, critical to their game tonight. Critical to slowing South Carolina down as Jai got a little bit excited, but again, critical to slowing down South Carolina to be able to win this game.
Both sides want to stay out of foul trouble. Only 9 healthy players for South Dakota State and South Carolina tonight. It's going to be a problem for South Dakota State all season long, as a couple of their stars are out for the year. Standing defense for the Gamecocks. They get into Meyer. And a steal for Hall. She'll look to push. Fulwiley on the drive. She feeds Watkins. Offensive foul is going to be called on Fulwiley. She picks up her 2nd foul of the night.
It's like a little traffic jam, calls in the paint.
Fulwiley, the number 13 player in the class of 2023. I'd love to know who those 12 ranked above her are. She's outstanding. McDonald's All-American. Over 3,000 points scored at the high school level. .27 lead for the Gamecocks. Under a minute to go in the 3rd. The rejection from Watkins.
Again, she almost was able to telepath the basketball on where it was going. Again, that was a great defensive play.
9th block of the night for the Gamecocks. Ashlyn Watkins averaging 4.3 per game this season. Tied for the nation's lead with Brooklyn Meyer, who has the ball right now for the Jackrabbits. Meyer, great touch.
Great finishing touch. Again, Meyer just is extremely athletic. Just being able to work around these post players that really tonight has outsized her. But again, she's using good fundamentals, good fundamental basketball to just really use her footwork and to be able to score.
16 points for Meyer, developing into a star for South Dakota State in her sophomore season. Her numbers way up from her freshman year. She averaged 5.6 points per game, 3.6 boards. Coming into tonight, 14.3 and 11.7. 3 seconds for Fulwiley. Scoop shot, no good. And the quarter will run out on South Dakota State. South Carolina has built their lead. They lead the Jackrabbits 57-32, and we'll head to the 4th from Columbia. Aaron Johnston and his Jackrabbits trail 57-32. South Carolina as we get ready for the start of the 4th quarter. Thanksgiving week. Happy Thanksgiving to all, and thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, happy
tonight.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
We had a great chat last night with Coach Johnston. We asked him about playing top teams like South Carolina. He said, hey, we love to play games like this. We've played Notre Dame, Oregon when they had Sabrina, several top 10 teams over the years. They help to elevate our program. So we want to keep making the tournament, but we want to win games and move forward in it. So that's why we do it. And they love to play in front of great fans like the fans here inside Colonial Life Arena. So it's a lot of fun. And these games, even if you don't come out on top and they're trailing by 25, they're going to make you better.
Absolutely, and that's what he talked about, making it better, preparing them for postseason play. He said when you see teams like this early on, it helps you that when you get to the NCAA or postseason play, you're not surprised, you're not unsure. You've seen these type of players before, and that's what happens when you play programs like South Carolina. And as you said before, Dave, he said it's a lot of fun for their players to be able to play in environments such as the Colonial Life Arena.
And last season when they made the tournament, they knocked off USC in overtime in that 8-9 game, the other USC, of course, Southern Cal, before losing the #1 seed Virginia Tech in the second round. But they're not afraid of playing big conference teams, and they win. You know, they beat Mississippi State last year, Rutgers, Louisville, Kansas State.
Right. And again, like you said, these type of games elevate the program, as he talked about, being able to compete one-on-one with these top-tier programs.
Only help them when they get into conference play. They're the preseason #1 pick in the Summit. As Johnson showing off her shot.
Nice shot for Raven.
16 points for Raven Johnson. 27-point lead for the Gamecocks. Mathewetz, an open look. In and out. Meyer, the offensive rebound. Brooklyn Meyer with the left hand. She'll draw the foul.
Great effort again by Brooklyn Myers. I think that's been, again, the narrative for the past 3 quarters of her just relentless around the basket, offensively as well as defensively, but offensively mainly just reading the defense and trying to score.
Brooklyn Meyer to the line. The foul called on Cardoso. And the look at the foul. It's going to get loud here inside CLA. Chick-fil-A is on the line. Brooklyn Meyer spoils the fun. Booze rain down on Meyer here inside CLA. Fagan with the spin move. And it's going to stay with South Carolina. Starters playing a lot of minutes tonight. It's a short bench for the Gamecocks. Great performances so far from Kamilla Cardoso, who has 22 points. Raven Johnson has a career-high 16. This is Watkins. She finishes off the glass over Tori Nelson.
Nice touch by Ashlyn Watkins. It's just a nice finish, being able to, again, keep the ball above her head and not bring it down. Great finish.
6 points for Watkins, who's coming off 2 straight double-doubles. They get it inside to Meyer.
Nice touch, nice finish.
19 points for Brooklyn Meyer, leading the way for the Jackrabbits. She's 9 of 19 from the field. Cardoso, she draws the foul. Tori Nelson picks up her second. Cardoso, 22 points so far. She's 8 for 12 from the field, 6 for 6 from the line, 6 for 7. Her career high is 25 points. She's at 22, so we'll keep an eye on that. Hits the second. She's up to 23. 8:30 left to go in the fourth. Mathewetz. Meyer passes on the shot. She'll drive. She's met by Cardoso. 3.9 left on the shot clock.
Her and Cardoso has been going at it all night. And there have been times that Meyer's been able to work around her. But again, Cardoso was just able to outsize her in that particular play.
Fourth block for Cardoso. A deep three is good for Tori Nelson.
Great job for Tori Nelson. She checked in the game earlier, replacing Myers due to foul trouble, and she's also been productive during her time on the floor as well.
Second made three of the season for Nelson. Inside the arc, that was Fulwiley. She misses. Watkins finishes from in close.
Great finish by Ashlyn Watkins.
And if the Gamecocks the other way, Johnson feeds Fagan.
Nice finish.
6 assists for Raven Johnson. Timeout called by South Dakota State as the Gamecocks lead the Jackrabbits 66-38, 7:29 left to go from Columbia. .6 assists and 5 steals for Raven Johnson. The 16 points are a career high, 5 steals ties a career high. What a night for the point guard for South Carolina.
Yeah, I think, again, she was definitely an appropriate player to watch early for this game. And I asked her, we talked with her before, I was like, hey, you know, are you going to, is 17 assists again something that you're looking for this game? She's like, she wasn't sure. But again, I think this just speaks to her versatility and what she's able to do. Again, like you said, 16 points, 6 assists, and 5 steals, career high in points. I think it's just, again, her athletic ability. She can do whatever the team needs her to do. Tonight may not have been the night for her to give 17 assists. It may have been the night for her to get the steals and the points, but I just think it just speaks to her point guard ability and to be able to, again, run the team and give the team what they need when they need it.
And because of her USA experience, Coach Johnston, who was an assistant with Team USA, knows all about Raven Johnson. He told us, hey, Raven's game has developed from being an athletic guard who can defend like crazy to someone who is good and well-rounded offensively now as well. He said we loved her personality. She's competitive, driven, always happy, energized, and such a nice person. When we talked to Raven earlier today and asked her about playing against Coach Johnston, she said, hey, you know, I'm going to have something for Coach Johnson. She said it playfully.
Yes, she did.
Fulwiley. Oh, the circus shot. It goes in.
What a finish. What a finish. Again, like as Coach said, she's able to do things on the floor that, you know, no other player can do, you know.
It's getting to the point, Brett, where you just expect it every game.
Yeah,
she's going to give you
true.
1 or 2 highlight reel plays.
Like you said earlier, it's almost sometimes you hold your breath when she gets a basketball or gets a.
Hold your breath then on this replay. Fulwiley making magic happen here inside CLA.
Her already getting a standing ovation and a round of applause from the crowd.
Colbeck, who has not scored tonight. Oh, Watkins rejects Nelson. And it'll be a shot clock violation for South Dakota State.
Wow, just a clean block. Again, you have someone like Ashlyn Watkins at the top, just cuts away the vision. Being able to cut away the vision is hard to shoot when she's contesting your shot.
12 blocks for the Gamecocks tonight. Watkins has 3 of them. She also has 5 steals.
Stop taking time out. They called a foul. It was a foul. Everybody saw it.
Meyer feeds it to Hop. Brooklyn Meyer. She's blocked by Cardoso. Fagan leads the rush. Ja from the wing. Raven Johnson, the bucket inside.
And she's on the boards too. Again, Raven Johnson being able to just, again, she's everywhere. She knows what their team needs when they need it. But again, that possession was activated by, again, a great hustle and a follow-up shot.
Career high 18 for Raven Johnson. 70-38 lead for South Carolina. 10 seconds for the Jackrabbits. Hop from the corner. Cardoso with the board. 9th rebound for Cardoso. It's out of bounds off Colbeck.
I think Raven tried to get it to Ja, who was cut into the basket, but just couldn't get the pass to connect.
Johnson will take a seat and gets a nice hand here inside Colonial Life Arena. Both centers on the floor now for South Carolina, Walker and Cardoso. Here's a different look for the Gamecocks. Ja on the drive. Meyer with the rebound. This is Jenna Hopp. Gets inside. Oh, and she's swiped by Fagan. Up ahead, this is Ja.
Great transition play. Again, this is South Carolina's bread and butter. And you can see Ja, she's back down the defensive stand. She's ready to go back at it again.
Defense certainly leading to offense all night for South Carolina. Timeout, South Dakota State. .427 left to go. So we take another look. Fulwiley up ahead to Ja.
That's a great job by Ja, running the floor. And again, just another athletic play by Fulwiley, getting the ball right where, passing the ball ahead. And Ja met it at the right time and was able to finish.
31 fast break points for South Carolina tonight, none for South Dakota State. Brett, that's certainly been the difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, you know, we talked to Coach before. We both coaches, we thought this could be possibly a three-point shooting contest, but this is transitional basketball as it was in their DNA, and that's something that Coach Johnson talked about, wanting to slow them down, manage their size and athleticism. But when South Carolina gets a run and get going, they're like a train that's hard to stop.
And they said we don't want to get into a track meet with them, have to get back and get set to be 5-on-5 as much as possible. With the turnovers, they haven't been able to do that tonight. Shot no good from Mathewitz. And the finish inside, that's Fagan.
Great finish by Fagan, but also great moving without the basketball. She was putting herself in position to be able to score, and again was able to receive and to finish.
Holbeck makes her move, the floater off the glass. Scramble for the rebound, it ends up in the hands of Walker. Fulwiley. She comes up short.
She's definitely not intimidated to be able to weave through multiple defenders at one time.
Cardoso, there on the defense against Byam. Cardoso has a double-double tonight, 23 and 10, her 19th career double-double. She's gonna exit, and she receives a nice hand here inside Colonial Life Arena.
Yes, very, very well-deserved standing ovation for her productivity, you know, in this game, just across the boards, points, rebounds. Again, this is what we're expecting, you know, from her senior season. She's coming in experienced, and again, we just love to see her be able to be productive on the floor for the Gamecocks.
It's her third double-double through the first 4 games of the year. She's averaging a double-double. Fagan pulls up and hits.
It's a nice shot by Sanaya Fagan. She doesn't take many shots from that area, but she's athletic enough to be able to knock those down.
8 points for Fagan. His numbers have gone up each year here in Columbia.
Myers continues to work in the post area.
Byam. A rebound for Ja. Ja was asking for it in the post. She'll back out. Fulwiley. Steal for the Jackrabbits as Brooklyn Meyer got her hand on the basketball. And a steal for Ja. can't finish. South Dakota State can have a 5-on-4. An air ball on the 3. Step back from Fulwiley.
Fulwiley doing what she does best. Again, she has the ability to be able to knock it down or be able to take it to the basket.
Substitution for South Dakota State as Hop and Nielsen check back in. Gamecocks with a 40-point lead, 78-38. 1:30 left to go. Knocked out of play. It'll stay with South Dakota State. A whistle and a foul. It's going to be called on the Jackrabbits, and Natalie Nielsen picks up her first. Walker, the only Gamecock who hasn't scored tonight. See if they can get her possession, maybe in the post. Just hang out outside the line. Now she heads inside the paint, but it's Watkins. .50 seconds remaining. Byam. She's rejected by Sakima Walker. Ja. It's a turnover for the Gamecocks.
As you said, with Sakima Walker, it's good to see her on the floor with her height and her presence. Really, trying to work her way into the Gamecock offense.
Byam can't hit the 3. Watkins bothering everyone. 10 seconds remaining. And Fulwiley will hold on to it. South Carolina will pick up the win over South Dakota State, 78-38, a 40-point win over the preseason #1 team in the Summit.
And again, you talk about the performance of Kamilla, Cardoso, and Raven Johnson, again, doing what they do best, being able to be productive. Had a little rough start in the beginning, but again, eventually got back into Carolina basketball, moving the ball up the floor. Again, just continuing this winning streak with the W here in the CLA.
44th straight win here for South Carolina as they start the season 4-0. And South Dakota State will drop to 2-2. Brett, your final thoughts?
Again, just like you said, slow start early, but they were able to get back into their game. South Dakota State came back ready to go, as both coaches talked about being able to, again, get the W for this game. Both fought well, but Carolina came out to be the stronger opponent tonight.
Next up for South Dakota State, South Carolina State in Brookings. Next up for the Gamecocks Friday against Mississippi Valley State at 1 p.m. We'll have that for you right here on SEC Network Plus. For Brett Ball and the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Weinstein saying so long from Columbia. The Gamecocks defeat the Jackrabbits 78-38.